In this video, we're going to talk about how to write the equation of a parabola given its key features. So remember, in conic form, we can identify several key characteristics of the parabola. We can look at which term is being squared and identify whether it's a vertical parabola or a horizontal parabola. If the term being squared is an x term, it'll be a vertical parabola. If the term being squared is a y term, it'll be a horizontal parabola. We can identify the direction of opening, the vertex, the location of the focus, the equation of the directrix, and the equation of the axis of symmetry. So let's start off with this example. So suppose we want to write the equation of the quadratic function that has a focus at 4, 6, a vertex at 4, 2, and a directrix y equals -2 in conic form. Then convert this equation to standard form. Okay, so I'm going to do a little mini sketch to kind of visualize this. So let's think about this. So if we have this as our x and y axes, okay, so 4, 6 is going to be the focus, okay? And then our vertex will be a little bit below that at 4, 2. Okay, and then the directrix is y equals -2. So you can already see from my sketch here that this is going to be a vertical parabola, right? It's going to open like this because remember the focus is like inside the parabola. So I know that I'm going to need to use the equation x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. Well, let's think about this now. So we can identify some values based on the information given to us. We know that h equals 4, and we know that k equals 2, right? Because that's the coordinates of the vertex. Well, now we need to know the value of p. Well, remember that p is the distance from the focus to the vertex. So if the focus is at 4, 6, okay, and the vertex is at 4, 2, the distance between these two, well, we can see the x-coordinate is the same, but the y-coordinates are 4 units apart. Okay, so we can tell that the value of p is going to be 4. You can also use the directrix to figure this out, okay, because remember, p is also equal to the distance from the vertex to the directrix. And so the distance from 2, which is the y-coordinate, to y equals -2 is actually going to be 4, right? Because 2 minus -2 is also 4. So we can plug these all into our conic form so that we can write our equations. So we have x minus 4 squared equals 4 times p, which is also 4, times y minus k, which is 2. So that just gives us x minus 4 squared equals 16 times y minus 2. Okay, so that's the equation of this parabola in conic form. So now let's write the equation of the parabola that's represented in this graph in conic form and then convert this equation to standard form. Okay, so let's look at this parabola. It opens horizontally. So I'm going to use the form of the equation y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. So let's look at the information that we have. Okay, so we have the vertex. The vertex is at -5, 4, and that tells me the values of h and k. Okay, now we need to figure out the value of p. So remember, I can do the distance from the vertex to the directrix, which will give me p, or from the vertex to the focus. Okay, both of these distances are the same. So the nice thing about having a graph is that you can basically just count. You can see that the vertex is 2 units away from the directrix, and it's also 2 units away from the focus. So I know that p equals 2. So if I plug into this equation, I have y minus k, so y minus 4 squared equals 4 times p, so 4 times 2 times x minus -5. Okay, so that gives me y minus 4 squared equals 8 times x minus -5. Well, minus negative becomes plus. So we have 8 times x plus 5. So this is the equation now in conic form. We have y minus 4 squared equals 8 times x plus 5. So now you can go ahead and pause the video and try doing this example on your own. So this is a vertical parabola, as we can see from the graph. So we're going to use x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. The vertex we can see here is at 2, 0, so that's going to be the values of h and k. The focus is at 2, 1, and you can see that the focus is 1 unit away from the vertex. The directrix is also 1 unit away from the vertex, so we know that that's the value of p. So when we plug into our equation, we get x minus 2 squared equals 4 times 1 times y minus 0. So that's going to be x minus 2 squared equals 4y in conic form. So remember, you can write the equation of a parabola in conic form given its key features, and